Hi there, it's Thursday. Amazing. Another week has just flown by. And Thursdays are quite exciting. It's my education day. So my name is Tanya Uester. Welcome to my Botanically page, an alchemy of soothing botanic ingredients. We are already on episode 33 of the single series today, which is very exciting. There's a couple of more oils coming, obviously, but many of them have been covered already. So I'm very excited about talking about this specific essential oil today because there are a couple of new things that I learned as well. And I think it's probably an oil that I'm not using in my daily wellness routine enough yet. So I'm definitely going to start incorporating a little bit more. Welcome, Sonia. I can see you've just joined. Thank you so much for saying hi. Do remember that if you are joining me live and you would like me to give you a shout out, now's a good time to go and pop something in the comments so that we can have a little bit of a shout out to you. I just want to make sure that I've got all my resources available, so I'm just drawing closer to me my recipes that I'm going to be talking about today as well. There's a couple of them coming, so definitely always stay right until the end. I usually mention all my recipes then. All right, so welcome. I can see there's definitely a lot more people than people saying hi, so go and put your name in the comments or just say hi, give me a smiley face so I know you're there. Hello Ruthie, I can see you've logged in. Welcome. Today is going to be a fun one. And Ruthie, I saw you over the weekend, and Sonia, you too. Both of you would have had a lot of experience, mouth-wise, sensory-wise, from the cilantro essential oil over this past weekend. So today we're going to learn why I incorporated it so much into my cooking. Hanley, I can even see you here. Fantastic. That's very exciting. Hello, Jill. Welcome. Thank you for joining as well. All right, so let's get started. Today we're talking, of course, about cilantro. So there's a difference between coriander and cilantro. In South Africa, we tend to just say coriander. Whether it's the leaf or the seed, we just talk about coriander. But in fact, cilantro is when you're referring to the leafy part of the plant, and coriander is when you're talking about the seed. And when you are using those two from the plant, those two different areas from the plant, they smell different, they taste different, and they also have different chemical profiles. So you're going to be using them differently depending on the health challenge that you would like to support in your life. So today we're talking about cilantro. So it's the leafy part of the plant, and there's the essential oil that's called cilantro is from the leafy part, whereas the coriander is obviously from the seed. And I really love this word. It's like doing your own spell. So like having a wand in your hand. The species name is Coriandrum sativum, and I think it's such a fun thing to say. But anyway, that's the cilantro plant's name, and it's actually known as Chinese parsley, and there's another common name for it. So today we're going to be talking about several of the benefits, and if we look at the plant first, so not the essential oil, if you're able to grow this in your garden, it's a really good idea to grow in your garden. It's very fragrant. It's one of my absolute favorites. So you do need to go and find a specific seed variety that doesn't bolt too quickly, especially in our summers, because what happens then is that they just go to seeding too quickly when it gets too hot. And because of the time of the year where they thrive and when you need to plant them, if you don't have one of the species that doesn't bolt fast, you're almost always just going to have coriander seed and very rarely have enough of the cilantro, which is what we really like to add to our cooking. Most of us anyway. You'll see on Monday that I actually posted something in Science Monday on my page talking about the fact that there's actually some people that really despise coriander or cilantro, and it's because of the aldehydes, some of the chemical constituents that are in there. And you can teach yourself to eat coriander, and today I think it's gonna open up your eyes on why this is probably one of those herbs that you should start including. And what they say for people who taste soap, because that's why a lot of people don't eat the cilantro leaves. What they say is if you do grind it up very thoroughly in like a NutriBullet or a blender or something, so the finer it is, the less pungent in your mouth it's going to be for you. So in that manner, the more you start eating it, the more accustomed you're going to get to the taste. And I'm going to actually tell you an interesting story. For very many years, I mean, as a child, I obviously was never exposed to cilantro. We didn't really eat it at home. So there's always a predisposition there about what your family has taught you, what tastes really good, what doesn't taste good. But there was a stage through my university career where I became a strict vegetarian. for various reasons. We're not going to go into that now. It's probably also the time period of my life where I was the most ill. Definitely that type of diet did not work with my body. But in that specific period, vegetarians tend to eat quite a lot of cilantro in their food, and I hated it. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. Oh, I can see Bev has joined on Insta. Live Daily Drops has also joined. Welcome, welcome. And Aircon Guy. I know who you are, Aircon Guy. So basically, I hated it then. And it's actually quite funny how your taste buds change and how your chemical profiles change, because then as soon as I started converting myself back into becoming an omnivore, in other words, eating plants as well as meat, my taste or my willingness to eat coriander and specifically cilantro improved. So I really started enjoying cilantro when I started eating meats, and I found that actually very interesting. So there's a Science Monday article that I posted where there's so much stuff online where it's people saying it's always the genes, and I've got to say that there's a lot of different articles that don't even mention, so blog articles, not even mentioning the science sort of source where they found the material from, which I don't necessarily always like. I tend to see most of that as fake news. But what happens is that there's actually not a lot of scientific articles. The ones that are referring to a specific one, there's a couple of genes that have been identified where people have mutations that may sort of get them to a stage where they are more receptive to aldehydes, which is what makes it taste like soap to some people. So yes, very, very interesting article, that one. So please go back and have a look on that on my Botanically page. All right, so let's see why coriander, the plant itself, is really good to include in your cooking. So cilantro, the leaves, very high in vitamin A, vitamin K, even vitamin C. There's also a good volume of calcium, selenium, magnesium, and manganese, as well as folate in there. So it's a really good plant to be incorporating culinary into your cooking. And I think the biggest part about using cilantro itself is all the top properties that it has. It is very high in antioxidants, so it's going to be really supportive to your immune system and supporting your body with inflammatory conditions or unhealthy inflammatory conditions where free radicals are causing quite a lot of damage in your body. It's also very antifungal, antiseptic. So there's quite a few systems in your body that you can support, and we'll go into a little bit more detail now for that. And it's also incredibly detoxifying. And I think the detoxifying properties of specifically the essential oil in the plant is probably why cilantro has been included in cooking for so many years, why it's such an amazing culinary herb. So I think the top priority for cilantro is the fact that it can assist and support your body to detox from heavy metals. It's a very good metal or a heavy metal chelator. And what that means, it binds to the heavy metals in your body and it helps your body to then get rid of them. So thinking, for example, now all the things that are being given with injections, usually there's some metals involved with that. So now would be an incredibly good time to start upping your routine use of a cilantro essential oil, for example. I was laughing this morning. I actually saw a very good video by saying that if you do struggle with heavy metal decontamination, so we're talking things like aluminium, for example, mercury, arsenic, lead, cadmium. I mean, it's present in most pesticide-laden foods. Many of the medications that we take, especially the injections, those kind of things are all, they do have some heavy metals in there. So if your body struggles with that and you would like to get rid of it, you can either eat cilantro at every single meal, nudge, nudge, laugh, laugh, for all of you that's tasting soap. But I think the better option here is probably to start using the cilantro essential oil if you have a food grade one, and you can take it in a capsule, because I can promise you, if you don't like the taste of cilantro, the leaves, you're probably not going to like the essential oil as well. So as long as it's a food supplement one and it's a 100% pure essential oil. I can see people are still logging in. Janine, Artak St. Marie. Yes, you guys are a little bit late, but always remember you can watch the replay in the feed, or you can go and catch me on my YouTube channel. So always just go subscribe there, because you can go and watch the replay there as well. So the cilantro essential oil in a veggie capsule is going to be a really good way for you to get in your daily cilantro dose, if you're trying to support your body with the heavy metal detox, because it's also incredibly good in helping your kidneys and your liver detox. So what is usually suggested is that you do take the supplement, the cilantro supplement. So whether you're making your own veggie capsule with an essential oil or you're purchasing a really good supplement, you should be taking it about 2 to 3 times a day for around 3 months. That's generally how long it takes to very gently, over time, support your body with heavy metal detox. All right, so those are the aluminiums, the mercuries, the leads, the arsenics, and the cadmium. Obviously, arsenic usually you get in very small quantities because otherwise you would die, just like that. But it definitely is present in quite a few of the things that we are using and eating on a daily basis. All right, so let's look specifically at the allergy side. If you're someone that suffers quite a lot from allergies and things, whether your liver and whether your kidneys do need quite a lot of support, then cilantro is going to definitely be that essential oil that you can take on a daily basis. And for that very reason, because it helps with detoxing, it is an essential oil that really helps with body odor. So if you're someone that struggles with body odor, it's usually because there's some kind of congestion somewhere in your body, one of your organs are struggling, then definitely cilantro is going to be one to incorporate. And you can either use it topically in your homemade deodorant or obviously consume it in a veggie capsule. If we start looking then further about the complicated relationships people have with coriander and cilantro because of the aldehydes, let's look at the chemical constituents, in other words. I just went into source2u.com this morning. It's a website we use for my favorite essential oil company, and I typed the batch code into that website because then I can get the GCMS result for this specific batch of oil that I bought. And it's quite interesting because cilantro is very complex. It actually has around 49 different chemical constituents, this specific batch of oil that I have, but there are 3 chemical constituents that are there in the top, sort of the top percentages, and then 2 of those 3 are all part of the aldehyde range, right? So they are the decenols, the dodecenols, and that's actually quite a large percentage. Probably about 50% of what is in this bottle is aldehydes, and that is why I can even smell it with the lid that's closed. Okay, it's a very strong fragrance. All right, I can also see Marisa's just joined on Insta. Welcome. Always catch the replay either in IGE TV on my Insta or definitely on YouTube. All right, so very strong on the aldehyde side, 50%. All right, then linalool, and this was very interesting for me because linalool, remember linalool is also in a high concentration in things like lavender, clary sage, basil, and this is also part of the mint family. Basil is as well. But the linalool, very calming and soothing to the nervous system, to the mind and the emotions, and to the body. And linalool is actually present in cilantro, this specific batch of oil, at 15%. So that's actually quite high. So the aldehydes is 15% linalool, and then the residual 35% is made of all the rest of the 49 chemical constituents that's actually in this bottle. But the linalool, why this is so incredible for good digestive support is because linalool is incredible at relaxing smooth muscle. So thinking when you've got discomfort in the belly area, even if you've got female hormone problems and you need a little bit of support there because of the aches and the discomfort that you're getting there, it relaxes the smooth muscle. So cilantro is incredible for gas and bloating, for example, for indigestion, and definitely all kinds of inflammatory kind of situations that you're feeling in your lower belly. So cilantro is a very, very good essential oil for that as well. All right, and then if we start looking at the emotional side, because linalool is also emotionally very calming. So though the essential oils that are high in linalool and linalool acetate, for example, they are very calming and they can actually help support the body to bring cortisol levels down. So then it's going to decrease that stress level. So definitely when you're feeling overwhelmed or you have some anxious feelings or you're really stressed, linalool in the cilantro is going to help calm you down and soothe and just relax. So for that very reason, because it helps relax the smooth muscles, as well as the emotions, it's going to help you from feeling very obsessed over something that is either making you really perturbed or something that you just can't get over. It's like some kind of block that you're trying to move from forwards. Cilantro is definitely going to help you because it's going to move you from feeling very obsessed with that particular thing to being more or feel more expansive. So opening up to choices, and perhaps not just staring at the thing in front of you that's irritating, but helping you to process that and to move forward. So you can see that cilantro is a very powerful essential oil, emotionally as well as physically. And I'll just go through those top uses in the end. I'll just summarize again. But let's talk about some recipes now, because it's very powerful in cleansing, and then obviously for digestive support, but it can also be really good in detoxifying your home, not just your internal organs. So for those of you that are very interested in a winter surface cleansing spray, I'm going to be talking through a recipe now that's going to smell really fragrant. And if you do want that recipe to be sent to your phone, please just can you comment for me, winter spray. So what I'm going to talk about now is a winter spray that you can make for surfaces, and it's very simple. You're going to take a 450 milliliter glass spray bottle, and you are going to add to it 4 drops cilantro, 4 drops Siberian fir, so it's going to smell delicious like a pine forest and very wintry. We are in winter now, it's cold in Pretoria today. 2 drops lime, because it blends really well with citrus oils and it's very uplifting to the mood. So basically those are all the essential oils you need. So that was the 2 drops lime, 4 Siberian fir and 4 cilantro. And if you want me obviously to send that to your phone, just let me know, and I can send that to you straight after the session today. So the word that you need to comment there is winter spray. So you first add those essential oils to your 450 milliliter glass bottle, sprayer bottle, and then you fill it with 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and you can fill the rest then with filtered water. Shake it up really well, and you can use that to spritz surfaces because it's very antiseptic, so it's going to help cleaning and getting rid of the bad nunus together with the vinegar, and it's going to be really refreshing smelling as well. So that was the winter cleaning spray. And here's another one for a carpet refresher. Now I tend to have to use a carpet refresher quite often. Remember, my one kitty cat has got a little bit of a condition which the cells are dividing uncontrollably in his stomach area, which does mean that every so often he does have a bit of a vomiting accident on some of my carpets, which is not the best thing, but at least I have a natural alternative so that I don't have to use chemicals that's going to damage my really nice carpet. So here is a very nice carpet freshener, and it's also going to take care of the smells that you would associate with that. So for this carpet freshener, you're going to need some baking soda, obviously, and a glass jar that you can shake everything up in really, really well. So for this carpet refresher recipe, obviously just go and comment in the comments for me, carpet, and I'll get that to you as soon as possible after the session. 5 drops cilantro, 10 drops Siberian fir, 10 drops tea tree, and 5 drops of Purify, which is our cleansing blend for our favorite essential oil company. And then you add all of those essential oil to 2 cups of baking soda. So you can see this is quite a nice big batch. You can obviously halve it if you want to, just halve the essential oil drops. Shake it up really well, and then you sort of sprinkle it over the area that you would like to clean. I tend to do that also to soak up the liquids, because obviously what happens when the cat has a vomiting incident is I try and pick up the food first with some cotton paper or towel, and then I shake the baking soda with the oils over that specific area, and then you let it sit. You actually work it into that area quite nicely. And then after about 12 to 24 hours, when the baking soda has dried up, especially in our dryer air now, it's good to actually vacuum that up then, and it'll take all the impurities with it into your vacuum cleaner. Just don't forget then to go and clean your vacuum cleaner afterwards, especially if you're using those water ones. They work very, very well. So there we go. That's a really nice carpet refresher. And then one last recipe, and that's for cooking, because I love cooking. So obviously cilantro is a firm favorite in all the curries that I make. But over the weekend I actually made a hummus. So chickpea dip. I made a regular standard hummus, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to spice this up. I'm looking for something different. And I literally took 2 cups, quite a lot, 2 cups of fresh cilantro leaves. And when you're starting to make your hummus at home from scratch, I always put the garlic with some Himalayan salt in the food processor first, because the salt actually macerates the garlic really nicely. So I first made the garlic quite fine, and then I added the cilantro first before adding all the soaked chickpeas and everything else that I add in there. So then I just chopped up this 2 cups of cilantro, and then I added the rest of my hummus ingredients, and I blended it up until smooth. I also add I think there was about 2 or 3 chilies from my garden in there. So the cilantro and the chili flavor together were really amazing. So basically I added some chili as well. And it gave my hummus an incredibly vivid green color. And it tasted so fragrant and so incredibly fresh. And how I topped that off, sort of a last drizzle to make it like extra luscious and delicious. I made an olive oil that I had infused with cilantro essential oil and lemon essential oil, and I drizzled that over the top of the hummus. So very delicious recipe. Look out for that one. I'll post the whole recipe tomorrow on my Botanically page, so wait until then. I'll put a picture up there as well, so it's easy to find that green color. But yes, that was a really, really good recipe. So yeah, thank you so much for attending today for my cilantro. I just want to quickly actually run through some of the top tips. Even my computer screen has died. I've talked so much. Let me just quickly pull that up again so that I can actually just find that recipe that I was going to talk about now. There we go. So the top tips, the top uses for my cilantro. After overindulging at dinner, for example, take a few drops in a glass of water if you can handle that very strong aldehyde taste, or add it to a veggie capsule. Diffuse with your choice of citrus oils, because citrus is very uplifting and it blends really well with cilantro. My favorite, for example, is tangerine, or even wild orange with cilantro in a diffuser is quite nice. And you can also put a couple of drops in a veggie capsule to experience cleansing and detoxifying benefits, especially if you're trying to support your liver and your kidneys. And it's a really good idea to include it in your cooking. So, for example, adding it to salad dressings, or like I just mentioned, into my cilantro and chili hummus. And there's many recipes available with cilantro. And usually when there's cilantro in a recipe, the leaves, in other words, you can always just make that flavor a little bit stronger by using a very good quality tested grade essential oil. 1 drop goes a very long way. Very, very potent, very, very strong flavor. So don't just go and drop it in. Always start with the toothpick method, whereas what that means is you take the toothpick and you touch the top of the rubber stopper inside the bottle and mix that into the food, and if the flavor is not strong enough, then you can add more. If you've added too many drops, I promise you, you're going to chuck it in the dustbin because it's going to be too strong. So use sparingly, but use daily to support good heavy metal detox. So thank you for joining me today. Remember to go put in the comments if you want any of those recipes, so winter spray or the carpet cleanser, and then look out for my hummus recipe that I'm going to be publishing tomorrow. See you all next week, Thursday. Great having you on again today. Oh, I can see Quibus, you've just logged in as well. Please go watch the replay. We're right at the end of the session today. So thank you. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.